Welcome to the channel. Today I want to take you through the steps of a copper relief painting, show you a bit about the process, how it works. First we have our hot glue stage. This is a tedious process. This one took about a dozen 12-inch sticks. When you're putting the glue down, one key thing to remember, of course it's liquid glue as you're putting it down, and you want to, if you have sections of glue like this, you want to kind of stagger them around, let them cool off before you put the very next one down right next to another, because if it's still liquid and the two forms touch each other, they'll just melt into one and run into one. All right, this is our copper paint that I'm using. It has a very good coverage. It's very opaque. When you're doing this, you're kind of using a dabbing and a brushing method. You're dabbing it into all those crevices that you've created with the glue. And you can start seeing the shapes come to life here as you start putting the color down. But you're kind of dabbing it into those crevices, and then you're using your brush to kind of smooth out the flat surface areas, give it an even coat. You can kind of see what I'm doing right there. I'm dabbing it in, and then I'll go over the top of it and brush it back and forth to give it a nice even coverage. I usually do 2 layers of this just to make sure all the canvas is covered. And I think it'll skip after the second layer here. There you go, that's after the second layer. All right, now we're going to do our patina. This is the what happens to copper when it ages. And this is a mixture of phthalo turquoise, sap green, and some white, titanium white. And you want to get this very thin, as far as you want to put a lot of water in it and make it a very, very thin paint. So when you brush it on, and you take a towel or a paper towel or a cloth and dab it and wipe out a lot of the patina. You're mainly leaving it in the crevices. And you want to do this quickly. If you have a fan running, or it's warm and the paint has any kind of time to dry before you get this off, it's going to stick to the surface and it's going to dry on there, and you're going to have to paint back over your copper to get it to come back. So you want to be very quick with this process. And I use a series of dry towels and wet towels to rub the paint off. And mainly I'm trying to get all the high relief areas to still have all their copper coat. So what I do is I rub over the top of these high relief areas to get that copper to come back through, and I leave the patina on the low surfaces. Then I'll take a wet rag and kind of one last time get it all cleaned off. This is Mars Black. I really like this Winsor Newton brand because it's very, very flat color. It doesn't have a sheen to it when it dries, and it's very, very rich, dark, flat black. Again, this is a very, very thin layer or mixture of paint, very liquidy, and you brush it in, and then you use a towel to wipe off the surface, the high relief areas, and leave that black down in the crevices. And it gives it a very nice antique look, aged look. Use the heat gun. I use a heat gun during this whole process to make sure all the paint is dry within the crevices before I go and touch it or add more color or whatever, because it just pull the wet paint right back out. So make sure it's good and dry between each one of these steps. Pointing out right there that all the rubbing I did to take all the high relief paint off abrased some of the copper right off of my glue. So you can go back and look for any of those little bare spots, touch them back up with the copper paint. All right, now we're going to seal it. I use this Minwax clear coat. It is the last step in this, and it seals the entire painting, but it adds a super deep richness to the whole thing. It makes all the colors of the copper, patina, and black just look super, super rich. And it makes it look like a stamped metal plate. Once this is all done, that's the thing, it looks like some kind of plate stamping. All the textures come out. There you go. You can see the real deep, rich color of everything now. still see some of the patina down in the cracks and crevices. And that's the process. That's how you do it. Hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And thanks for watching.